Hello guys, Toby here, owner and founder of the Small Biz Academy. We specialise in helping you learn and implement the fundamental principles to running a successful business, with the idea being giving you the foundation to massively increase the odds of being successful in your business. Nothing guarantees success, no matter what other coaches might tell you. But if you have these fundamental principles in place, your odds of success go up massively. In this training today, I'm going to go through the fundamental principles for growing your business. So I'm going to go through what you need to do to grow your business. This is also what we teach and help implement in the Small Biz Academy and our one-on-one coaching programs. But let's get into it so you can start to learn what you need to implement in your business to grow your business. So when we're looking at implementing the fundamental principles into your business, there are three key areas that we focus on, and they're sorting three key problems out. And that's lack of money and mastering your money in the business. Your lack of growth and mastering the growth. Your lack of people and mastering people. In this training, I'm going to go through the fundamental principles you need in place to help you grow. And there's three key areas we focus on. The first one is delivery. So delivery is really making sure you've got down pat exactly how you deliver your product or service. And we want to get this in place first before we scale. Because if you've got inefficiencies in your processes or you're unable to scale, then obviously you're going to get into problems once we up the marketing or up the sales side of things. So you need to make sure you've got standard operating procedures in place for your core customer experience process. And that's really from the moment the customer says yes to your order to the moment it gets delivered or fulfilled, whether that's a service or a product. You need that written down in a way that new people coming in can have a look quite quickly, pick it up and bolt into the system so that we can scale. We also want to make sure that not only we're operating efficiently, but we are adding value and adding a bit of a wow factor in there as well. So we've got good service. Now what we tend to do here is first and foremost, design that process out. So flow chart it out and then develop the documents that are important to that. So that might be some scripts, might be some templates, might be quote templates, whatever it may be. But you need to set them up so that we've got that process there, and then it's in a way that you can share that with others. So an example I've got is I've worked with a few hairdressers over the years, but we've sat there and designed the process. So the client experience process from the moment they make the booking to the moment they leave the salon. Then we go, okay, what are the key steps in that process? And we're not talking about the technical steps. We're talking about, okay, how do you meet and greet them? How do you do the initial consultation? How do you lead them over to the chair? Then obviously how you do the service, but then also how do you do the checkout? How do you do rebooking? You need a process there that is scripted, that is flow charted and has the right templates. Once you've got the system there, then obviously you need to train your guys on how to then do that. So you need to sit down, give them training, show them the supporting documents we've given them, do some role playing so they know what process to follow. Then the most important step to that is then hold them accountable. When we want a team to operate a certain way, there are three key parts to it. There are the system, there are the training, but then there's also accountability. So you need to make sure you hold that team accountable to following that process. So that's one-on-ones, that's more training when needed, that's potentially reprimands if they don't follow the process. It's also rewarding them for their results. And that comes back to data, which we kind of discussed last time in the last video when we were talking about getting control of your money. But one of the reports, for example, that I use for a hair salon is we've got in the data side of things, we've got a weekly report per stylist showing us how many appointments they've made, how many product sales they did, what their rebookings are. So they get KPIs, they get key performance indicators, which if they follow the process we set for them, they should achieve. So it's a round circle, but you need to make sure you've got that in place first, so that when you are ready to scale the business, you can then scale it easier. You can add more people, add more resources as you need them. So that's where to start. So don't jump in a market first, make sure you can deliver. So once we've got our delivery processes down pat, it's then about starting to look at your marketing. And the key thing we start with here is your marketing message. So that entails of why people should buy from you. We need to get that point across of what's different about you. You've probably got lots of competition in your marketplace, but you need to kind of easily demonstrate what's different about you and why they should use you. And that comes from us getting the messaging right. So you have to dig a bit deeper to work out exactly what that is. I usually divide that into 3 key areas. And that's what you do, how you do it, and why you do it. If we can get those down, that usually satisfies enough people to see why you're different. Some people are interested in your why, some people are interested in just what you do, and some people are interested in how you do it. But you want to get those key points across, and you want a minimum of 3 key points of difference in your key areas. So you can say, we do this, we do that, and we do that. Because not many people will have those 3. But it is understanding about, first and foremost, your market, what is important to them, and then getting that across. So I worked with a builder for many years. They were a commercial builder. Their builds were much higher quality than a standard commercial build. And they looked fantastic. So they did that because they did the design internally. So they would design and construct. So that was a key point of difference straight away. And rather than just building a shed with squares on it, they designed it so it looked artistically good as well. But when they did design it, they designed it in a way that made it cost effective to build. So not only was a client getting something that was better quality and looked better, it was often cheaper as well, or certainly cost effective for what they wanted to achieve. So we had to get that point across to them, or to potentials, very quickly. So one of the key things you need to do from that is you need a short version of that. So they had it as part of their names. Their name was Clark's Design and Construct. So straight away, that was part of their point of difference. We did have a tagline underneath that as well, which I can't remember the tagline off the top of my head, but the tagline is your short version of your point of difference. And then we got your 3 key points of difference there as well, which is the design side, which is the cost-effective design, which is their expertise as well, and detailing down some of the quality that they did do. So like even their slab that they put down, there's a standard you have to do. Theirs was always thicker. So theirs was twice as thick as the standard, I believe. And they got a very good reputation for their quality. I had another client actually who got them to build their shed for their business. And she said when the bank came round to do the evaluation, first thing he said is, "Oh, this is one of Clark's buildings, isn't it?" She went, "Yes." "Oh, okay, I know they're good." So their quality had come through. And that came from, first and foremost, the marketing, but also delivering on that. So whatever you do say is in your marketing is your point of difference, you have to deliver on that as well. Otherwise, it will fall short very quickly. But here you're deciding what those key points of difference are and then working it out from there. Your why is often your story. So it's your story of why you did what you did, what was your story, how you got into it, and why you love doing it, and why your team loves doing it. And then the how is your process. And when you can describe your process, you can put your points of difference in there. So for these guys, that's where we did put in, for example, the thicker slab at the start. So things like that can come across, and people read that and go, "Oh, wow, that looks good." Then it's obviously got to line up, and that's where testimonials come in really well. Video testimonials, third-party social proof that what you're saying is true. That's what you want to end up with. But it starts with working out, okay, what is going to be your hill you're going to die on for your point of difference in your business. Then the next thing from marketing, the fundamental thing you need to do is having your website set up properly. So your website is your central point in your marketing campaign. So you want to make sure you've got a good content-rich website which lays out your points of difference really well and is set up to convert. So to convert to the next step, whatever that is for your business, whether it's them giving you a call, filling in a form, purchasing online, whatever it may be, you need to make sure your site is set up to convert. Don't do a copy and paste website where somebody writes the copy for you, which is just the same as everybody else's copy and doesn't really say anything. You need to make sure it's set up to get your point of difference across and to prove your points of difference where you can, with testimonials, social proof, images, videos, whatever it needs to be. But you need to set up your website properly, because once then you've got your website properly, you can then do your inbound marketing, which then is about setting up Google ads, meta ads, SEO, retargeting, driving traffic through your site so that then they go hit your site and go to the next step, whatever that is for your business. You can then also look at outbound marketing strategies as well. So that's you reaching out. So for some businesses, they're not necessarily being searched for on Google. If that's the case, you need to reach out to them. A good strategy for that is sending out mail. So direct mail nowadays is still pretty good, but I'm not on about mass direct mail, but you might target specific companies you want to work with, send them what we call a lumpy mail. So that's usually a white handwritten envelope with something lumpy in there. We did it recently for a client. They were looking they were looking for large builders because they wanted to do their drafts work for them. So we sent out actually pens, nice Parker pens with their names on. And then with a nice letter introducing ourselves and making an offer on the first set of drawings. And when we followed them up, people were rapt. They really liked it. And other people would come and go, oh, I want a pen too. And it led to lots of work. So that's one way of reaching out. But the core is, first and foremost, get your point of difference right. Second, present that on your website properly, drive traffic to that site, and then reach out to people if you need to reach out. That's your fundamentals from your marketing point of view. Next, now you've got your marketing sorted out, it's your sales. So it's your sales and how you sell. So some businesses, like if you're selling directly online, you might not need your sales side of things because you've already got sales there. But that's still follow-up sales. That's still additional sales afterwards. But sales here is what we're focusing on from a fundamental point of view. It starts off with having a sales process in place. So all good sales starts with a process that you follow when you get a lead to get that sale. You need a standard process. Obviously that helps you to replicate that as well and grow it, but also it helps you to identify what works and what doesn't. You want to make sure you look professional and you look good in that sales process. One of the key things you want, and this is really important, is if you are in a sales scenario, you want to be the favorite. So by the time they've booked in with everybody, you want them to have probably one or two others maybe that they're getting quotes from, but you want them to be thinking, oh, these are my favorites. So you want to be warming them up before you get there. That starts with your marketing, starts with your website, but then follows through in your sales process as well. And it's about how then you contact or process them through that sales process. So how many touches you do, how professional you look, how quick you are at providing the quotes, that type of thing. I'll give you an example. I've got a client where we are a firm of accountants. So we set up their sales process for them. They've got obviously a website. They're driving leads through that website. One of their conversion strategies is to book in for a 15-minute discovery call to see if and how we can help you. Now, the point of that is that's not a big deal. It's like, I'm on their website. I like what they say. I may as well have a chat with them. That's what you're trying to get them to do to get to the next stage. Because sales really is about getting people to the next stage. So I may as well have a chat with them. Also, they can phone or they can contact as well. But a lot of people book in for a discovery call. Then, as soon as they booked in for the call, we then flowed out the sales process from that. So they would get an email confirming the discovery call. We then had a script for the call. We did the call. After the call, then the idea is we then booked them in for a free review. So they got a free review of their accounting setup or business structure. So we would then book them in for that if the call went well. And the whole point of the call was, well, we're qualifying them. So that give us a chance to check us out, but we're also qualifying them. And then we're also offering them a free review of their structure, which is valuable. And it gives them a second opinion on how their business is set up to know whether it's set up properly, as well as an opportunity to check out the firm. So once that's booked in, then there's an email that goes out. The email goes out with requests for information and more information on the firm. So we're looking good. They then get a reminder and a reminder call before the appointment. We then have a scripted appointment set up, which is a sales meeting basically, but what we're doing is we're providing value and offering a service straight away. We then have quote templates set up to quote and a process then to follow that up and then to win that over. So that's about setting up the process and making sure the quote template's set up as well, which is a huge thing that most businesses don't do. They don't make their quotes look nice. You need to make your quotes look nice. That's something that often when people get quotes, the person you're dealing with then might involve somebody else who have no dealings with you. And they're going to play devil's advocate. So even if you are the favourite at that point, they're going to try and find things wrong with your quote, because that's just the pathway most people take, because they want to be convinced before they make the deal. If your quote looks rubbish and it's just got the price on there and everyone else is the same, there's no point of difference there. You can't, often the only way you can interact with those people is through that quote. So you want to make your quote look good and make sure your key points of differences are on that quote too. Another key thing, there's two key things really that help conversion, and that's making sure you quote quickly. So you need to make sure your process is set up that you can get the quotes out quickly and follow up. Making sure you follow up quickly and often. But you need to set up your sales process. Then you need to put something in place where you can then manage and monitor those leads and monitor your results. So you know how your team are doing, how you are doing, how many leads we're getting, how many quotes we got out, how many converted, what's the average value, what's the sales value from that. And that's kind of a CRM stuff. I got a tool that you can get your hands on in the academy, which is a lead management tool, which is very simple to use, which gives us those key results by person. But that means we can then start tracking those results so we know exactly how each person's doing. And guess what? We can hold them accountable, work out whether our salespeople are really operating at the level we want or not, and then make improvements. Like I did this with a client where they've got a couple of people on their team who do sales. They review their KPI sheet each week, so the lead management system each week. And they've gone from, when they started, their conversion rate was 24%. It's now 31. And that's just with the only change being everybody's being held accountable and everybody wants to achieve it. So more follow-ups are happening, we're faster and all of that. So make sure you set up your sales process. And with those three things in place, that should help you with your growth. I hope you found that useful. I hope to give you some tips on the fundamental principles you need to put in place in your business to help you grow. As I've said in the academy, we go through and teach you on how to implement each of those steps and give you templates and resources on being able to do it. And on one-on-one coaching, we'll do it with you. So make sure you check that out. If you've got any questions or comments, then please leave the comments below. If you like this type of stuff and want some more education, please subscribe to the channel. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Cheers.